Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. If you're new to my channel, my name is George, and today I want to talk to you about graduate school funding. Oftentimes people get schools and they're very excited. Yeah, that's good news, but if you don't get funding, you can actually put yourself in a very, very, very difficult position. And that is what I'm about to talk to you. Okay, so now you did all the hard work, you applied, you wrote all the SOPs, you did all the things. Now is the time where the admission process is coming out and you have had admission. That is good. And you are excited. You want to move to the United States of America, you want to move to Canada, you want to move to whatever state place it is. But then here comes the problem. The school just gave you only admission. And I feel like people don't really tell you the truth about graduate school process as an international student. If you just only got admission without funding and without anybody in the state where you're going, it's most likely going to be very difficult for you to survive. I hear people say that, oh, don't worry about that. I mean, you can just go to the school and you do some campus job and you get all the money. You'll be able to pay for your rent, you'll be able to pay your school fees, and you do amazing. I wish I could just tell you that that is true, but unfortunately, if I did told you that that is true, I would be telling you a lie. Being a graduate student in the US and in other countries where you don't know anybody there, it's kind of really very stressful. Number one, because you just moved there, you don't know how to even adjust. And number two, you do not have work permit. For most of these countries, you probably don't have work permit, and all you can do probably is to work on campus. And you might think, well, yeah, I'll do campus job and I'll be able to raise the money. Bro, that is just 20 hours a week. And you'll be lucky if you got that 20 hours a week every week. And one thing you probably might not realize is that rent is so expensive. So imagine you being paid, let's say you've been paid like $14 an hour and you're working 20 hours every week. Roughly, let's say in a month, you'll be taking like $900 adjusted for taxes. That $900, you can barely survive on that $900, to talk of even not using part of that money to pay for your school fees. And so the other option people would often look to is student loan. Well, whilst I do not have any issues with student loan, if your program is like 4 years, oftentimes you will scramble around to get scholarship, student loan, and it will be very difficult for you to get. I do know some student loan providers who will only give you when you are like getting to your final 2 years of completing, and so the whole process just becomes that very difficult. But unfortunately, there is a lot of misinformation flying around, and oftentimes you get the admission and people will be like, hey, do whatever it takes to get there. And even if you have to lend money to get there, do that and get there. Bro, I'm telling you that is not true. If anybody is telling you that, that person is probably not telling you the truth. That person is putting you in a situation where you would get to the country and you will be very miserable. If you do get admission without scholarship, here's what I advise you to. First, acknowledge receipt of the admission. Thank the admission committee. Let them know that you feel so happy that they have given you admission. and that you'll be very excited to join their school, and then you follow up politely to see if you can negotiate to have them kind of give you some scholarship. If they give you a good amount of scholarship, probably that it would now make sense to now look around and see if you can have other sources of funding. But if the school is not giving you anything at all, then it becomes like really very, 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 very difficult. And so my step one would be, hey, reach out to the school. Is there graduate research assistantship, like teaching assistantship, or any other thing that you can give to me that would help me kind of cover my fees? Oftentimes, if you apply early in the whole cycle and then you get the admission, you don't get scholarship, and then you reach out and they tell you, oh, we don't have any funding, and we don't have any funding, that is not the end of the world. Probably you can just wait. Then maybe along the line, you reach out again. Is there any other, reach out again. Is there any opportunity like this? Probably from the time you ask them for the funding and to that second point, maybe somebody might have withdrawn, that they are not coming. So probably the school can give that funding to you. So what I'm trying to just let you know is that if you reach out to them and they told you we don't have funding for you, that's not the end of the world. Just keep on, keep your fingers crossed, reach out from time to time and see if there are any opportunities that comes out. If there are any opportunities that comes out, the very fact that you constantly reaching out would make the school kind of make you a priority in some way. And so that is one thing I would recommend that you do. What I'm not recommending you to do though is to pester the school with emails. That way you become so annoying, and I don't want you to be that person who is so annoying to the school so much that they, even when they have options, they would not want you to come. But very respectfully and politely, you reach out to them from time to time, just reaching out to see if there are any other opportunities that comes up between the time I reach out to you and now. That way you are more likely to get something. But if something doesn't come out, one thing that people do find useful is that, usually when you get that admission and they tell you put the seat deposit, then you put the seat deposit down, you get the school email, and that gives you access to be able to kind of go through the university portal and see if there are any research assistantship positions, if there are any graduate teaching assistantship positions. That is something you should be considering. It doesn't have to be in your department. So for instance, I am in the School of Public Health, and probably there is graduate teaching assistantship or research assistantship in a different department. You can reach out. If you did that, probably your chances of landing a scholarship will probably increase. And so that is what I would urge you to do. And then when all things fail, the final option would be student loan. But with student loan, if you're going to take student loan, you should be mindful that these loans comes with very high interest rate. And so for most of them, you can very easily get a student loan that have interest rates of like crazy 12%, stuff like that. And if you're going to do a program that is like 4 years and you are just taking, let's say you're taking like 10,000, that can very easily add up and it can become a lot of money. But if all things fail and you still absolutely believe that this program is something that will actually change your life, then it makes sense to reach out to see if you can get student loan. If you are doing this though, be mindful that student loan, when you get a student loan, oftentimes it makes your visa process a little bit difficult. I'm not going to say that it will make it difficult in that sense, but it kind of put a certain layer of difficulty into your visa application process. So if you are going that route, you should be mindful of that and prepare very well. Obviously, everybody, your case is different, and so if you're taking that route, do not be afraid that you will not get your visa approved. In fact, do your due diligence, prepare as much as possible, and if you did that, hopefully you go there and you'll be able to prove your case. You'll be able to show why the visa officer should give you the opportunity to come to the US, Canada, or UK, wherever you are going to school. And so I hope these kind of give you some understanding about the graduate funding process. Do not be deceived that you can just do campus job and then be able to use that to pay your school fees and still live off it. That is a myth. It's far from reality. Anyone who has gone through this process will let you know that that is not possible. If you try that, you are probably going to put yourself in a situation that will make it very difficult for yourself. And the last thing you want to do is to be in a school where the school will be threatening of you, of kind of revoking your visas because you are not paying school fees and all of that. It can very much put you in a very bad mental state that you don't want to be in that situation. And so hopefully you are able to pick something of this. I am not discouraging anyone, but I'm just trying to kind of lay out some realities and truth that if you are at the other side, you probably would not understand that that's how things works out. Truth be told, your campus job can only maybe pay your rent. That at best, that is what it can do. It probably will not even be enough for your groceries and stuff like that. So that's what I had to share with you. If you're new to this channel, please subscribe, hit the like bell, the like button, and subscribe to my channel, and so that when I upload something new, you would be the first to know, because I'm going to be providing you with very, very, very exciting content that is really very tailored to you, so that you will make your study abroad journey a reality.